seen a number of games so far since the start of this past Tuesday. This past Tuesday was the first of a batch of the games, and we've seen a number of good performances so far. We saw our home country end up taking a game earlier this week against the likes of Britain, and last night was where it got a little rough. Last night was rough, and we saw the United States lose 11-5 to Mexico in a game that didn't even feel that close. A 6-run game wasn't even that close. You and I were talking about this off of the air. The batting for the United States can put some stuff together. It's really just some of the pitching right now, which kind of feels like a B and C squad for what we know the American pitchers in Major League Baseball can accomplish.
Yeah, Mitch, we mentioned it. Obviously, like you just said, the lineup the United States has is phenomenal, stacks up against the best, which most people in talks of just the names in the World Baseball Classic would argue that it stacks up right next to the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico. But the pitching is a major factor, as it is for any baseball team that's trying to win. Adam Wainwright started game one, Mitch. This is a pitcher who is obviously at the end of his career. He gave up a home run to the second batter of the game against Great Britain. Now, obviously, he was able to settle in after that, but last night against Mexico, the United States just did not have a whole lot of arms. They had a couple names you'd know, Brady Singer being one of them, one of the top pitchers in this up and coming Royals team in Kansas City, but even he got rocked around a bit. And now the U.S. has gotten past it before, and obviously you can get some big performances out of older players or unproven players in terms of what they've done in Major League Baseball. But at the end of the day, the confidence level you have as a team, whereas if you're going up against another team like Alcantara, that I believe pitches for Mexico, if I'm not mistaken. If it's not Mexico, it's another team in the World Baseball Classic. Knowing that if you're the United States, you could potentially face someone like that who won the NL Cy Young Award last year, and you could put up somebody that's either been in the majors for 2-3 years or at the tail end of their career, I wouldn't feel too great. The bullpen, though, is where the United States could maybe have some help. But last night, Mitch, they had no help in that loss to Mexico, and it was really a brutal loss for the team that won the last World Baseball Classic. And now they are kind of in a spot where they play a Canada team tonight that has some major league talent. Obviously, former MVP Freddie Freeman, who plays for Canada because he is Canadian. It's going to be a tough task for the U.S. And, who they throw, I don't have in front of me, but you almost have to hope that you just get a quality start, even if you get 3-4 runs, and that your offense, a lineup that is just incredible. I believe one of the mock lineups had actually Trey Turner batting 8th. Now he's obviously moved up into the top 3. Mookie Betts, Mike Trout, Nolan Arenado, Paul Goldschmidt. Mitch, if that's your top 5, that's a scary top 5. Then you have someone else like JT Realmuto, who's one of the better hitting catchers in baseball in your lineup. This team is stacked all over the field, especially in terms of names of faces across Major League Baseball that everybody knows, either through the All-Star Game, MVPs, Gold Gloves, Sports Center top 10 plays, web gems, whatever it may be. You just got to find a way to get some of this pitching. And now there are players, Mitch, that can play for different teams that have the opportunity and can choose. Freddie Freeman could choose to play here, but he obviously goes to Canada. Lars Nootbaar. People might be saying, what? Lars Nootbaar, what kind of backyard baseball made up name is that? No, folks, that's a real player who plays for the St. Louis Cardinals that is playing for Team Japan, if I'm not mistaken, because his mom is from Japan. And when you have that, much like if you're born in the United States, you're a citizen, when you have that connection, you can go back and play for that country. It was funny. There was a clip that surfaced of him, Mitch. I don't know if you saw it or not, during an exhibition for Japan, where Team Japan broke it down and Lars Nootbaar is just kind of standing there in the back. Yeah, because he has no idea what's going on because his mom is the connection there. He has never lived or really learned the Japanese language. And he's just kind of sitting there thinking, okay, well, let's go play baseball and win baseball games now. But that's what's kind of cool. And you see other players like obviously Cal Quantrill of our Cleveland Guardians on Team Canada because he's Canadian. I believe Bo Naylor, if I'm not mistaken, also on that team. There's a number of guys from the Guardians that are playing on different teams. Richie Palacios, is it the Netherlands he's playing for, if I'm not mistaken? So just wonder if you can find a way, but at the same time, I don't bash any of these players that play for the respective country because you see, and that's what I love about the World Baseball Classic, the pure emotion that you see in the seventh inning of a game or the sixth inning of a game from these players representing their country is unmatched. It almost is a cross between the College World Series and the World Series in baseball, because obviously the higher the pressure, intense situation, the more emotion comes out. I love it. So I can never fault a player going to play for their respective country, but you just sometimes wonder, is there a way you could get some of those guys to stay and play for Team USA when they have the option to play for different teams? And if you could, maybe this makes the US better, in the next World Baseball Classic. But we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, even Freddie Freeman was playing for Team Canada this time around, which is very interesting. Um, but yeah, we'll see if the USA can beat Colombia this coming Wednesday in Arizona. We have a number of games going on right now at the moment, actually, and down in Miami and Phoenix. We have Dominican Republic up 4-0 over Nicaragua. Colombia is going to take on Great Britain, and then Israel will take on Puerto Rico, and then Canada plays the US tonight. That's a must win for the US if they want to
Yeah.
stay out, if they want to get out of pool play, because it's hard to get out of pool play with a 2-2 record from what it seems. So we'll have a number of games there throughout the years as well. What do you think of Team Italy, by the way? Team Italy is the most fascinating team. I was going to say their uniforms too, but I was thinking about Great Britain, where first of all, it looks like somebody just went into Microsoft Word, took the Arial font and put it on a uniform, which I'll try to put up a picture of it if I can.
Same with Canada too, though. Their lettering is way too big.
The lettering is way too big. I have to look up Team Canada now because I don't know what their uniforms look like, but that's why I have a computer here, and the lettering looks normal. Am I missing something here?
I just I just think it looks way too big for how plain the rest of the jersey is. Like, it just looks boring on that red jersey. And I think it looks even worse when you compare, because I saw people comparing, country jerseys already. When they put Great Britain and Canada next to each other, it was like, oh my gosh, these must have been made last minute.
Team Great Britain is where, well, they don't have they were wearing a gray uniform the other night, and you can kind of see it in this one that I'm about to share right here, but it's this big one up top here that my mouse is around, like this one right here specifically. Like, look at that. It looks like
Yeah.
you just took the first font you found on Microsoft Word and just slapped it on a uniform. It looks like those old. It looks like those Red Sox uniforms from a few years ago that they tried to make the road uniforms again, because that's what it was, I think, in like the 70s and 80s. But it doesn't compare to the ones that we grew up with and the ones they eventually went back to a few years ago.